Hello, this video is going to be showing you how to do this juxtaposition cutout image project, which is fairly simple, using the Adobe Photoshop Express program, which is free from the district. So in a previous video that's listed here, it actually goes over the instructions for you on what you need to do. This video is just going to scroll down to the actual Photoshop demo, so I'm going to go ahead and click here. I've given you access to Adobe Photoshop Express. All you have to do is click here. It should open it for you. If you need to sign in, you can use your district credentials to sign in because it should be free for you. Once it's open, just remember for this project you need 2 images. You can do more than 2, but you need a minimum of 2. You can take your background fantasy image from the internet for this project, but the image that you use for the cutout of the person has to be a photograph that you took. So it could be you, or it could be your mom, or your dad, or your brother, or sister, or a friend, and it has to be a full body shot of the person in order to make this work. So you can't have cut off feet or cut off hands or cutting off somebody's head, like their forehead. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to recommend that you upload the backdrop photo first. So this is the fantasy photo. So I'm going to hit upload photo here. And earlier I saved a picture of the Golden Gate Bridge. That's going to be the image I used for this. So I'm going to open that. And then it brings up the photo of the Golden Gate Bridge. This image is a little pixelated from the internet. I probably should have found one that was a little bit sharper and cleaner. Just remember, when you take images from the internet, you have to look for ones that have a lot of pixels, because generally when people upload things to the internet, in order to make them load faster and to come up quicker in your internet browser, they are saved with limited pixels, which means the quality is going to be poor. So this image is not the best image, but it is going to show you how to do this project rather quickly. So I brought up this background layer, and then you can see here on the right where my cursor is circling, this is a layer. So you can see that the background is the first layer. So every time I do something to this photograph or this image, Photoshop's going to add a little layer program here, or a little layer, kind of like a sandwich. It's just going to put like layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, layer 4. So I want to add the image of my person, and remember, the person cannot be taken from the internet. This has to be something that you create with your own photography. So if I go over here to the left and I go to the 3 images here, I can just click that, and then once that opens, oops, I'm sorry. Well, I'll go to the main menu and then go down 1 to where it has this arrow, and then it'll bring a drop down menu, and then if you scroll it says add image. So I need to go to upload images from my device. So again, I stole from the internet for this, although you should not. I'm just going to pretend like I took a picture of this break dancer. Again, the photo quality is not great. When you're taking your own photography, it will be better. And what I need to do is I need to remove the background so that it looks like he is layered on top of the background fantasy photo image. So I'm going to make this guy look like he's breakdancing on top of the Golden Gate Bridge. You can see again on the right side, there's a breakdancing layer. So I added 2 pictures here, so there's 2 layers. As AI is getting better and better with these programs, you no longer have to cut out an image by masking it or by going to another program and cutting it out first and then inserting it. For this purpose, I can just click on it, make sure that the layer is activated. I don't want to be on the background layer, because if I do that, it'll take the background out of the wrong image. So I want to make sure that I'm on the right layer. And then all I have to do is go down here where it says remove background. This is so easy. It took the background out. Now I can make sure I'm on the move tool. So I'm going to go back to the left side, make sure it's on the arrow that says move tool, which means that I can move, whoops, I'm on the wrong layer on the right. So I moved the wrong thing. So I'm going to go to the breakdancer layer, and then I can move him. I could make him look like he's dancing on the water. That doesn't make any sense though. I could make him a little smaller. Whenever you squeeze in, I suggest you do it from a corner. So I could make him look like he's breakdancing on the mountains in the back. I don't want to do that though. I want to make sure he's breakdancing on top of the Golden Gate Bridge. I actually like this area right here because it's going to use the rule of thirds. And I really want to exaggerate this. So just to show that this is, you know, an exaggerated fantasy storytelling and I've done the cutout project correctly, I don't want to make him too small because then that just kind of washes him out and I can't see him. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to make sure that he is rather large so it seems pretty obnoxious. Whoops. I did something to my layer here, so I'm gonna, he's too pixelated, so I'm gonna go Control Z and take out what I did. I just did Control Z 3 or 4 times so it went back to where I was. So I'm gonna go ahead and move him, make his hand look like it's right here on top of the bridge. I'm gonna go ahead and adjust the size so this looks very, very, very obnoxious and totally not something that could ever happen in real life. Again, you have to remember you're on the right layers here because you could do some functions and then realize you're on the wrong layer and you'll see some things change that you don't want to change. If that happens, just hit Control Z and it'll undo it for you. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll this a little bit. I'm just trying to make his hand look like it's in an appropriate spot. Alright, so this guy looks like he's dancing on the Golden Gate Bridge. And once I am finished with it, I can just go ahead. Actually, I might even do a crop here because I like that he looks like he's in the rule of thirds area instead of kind of, if I moved him to the middle over here, it wouldn't look too good. I could make him a little smaller, I guess. I just kind of like him here because it uses the rule of thirds. I want to make sure I get his feet in here though. But I do want to crop this image because I don't like all this negative space over here. I want to focus more on him and the bridge, so I want to take some of this out. So in order to do that, I don't want to be on the breakdancing layer. I want to be on the background layer. So I'll go to this layer here. You can, if you get confused, you can always double click on the layer and title it so you know. And then I'm going to hit the crop. It's going to bring up the crop tool. It also gives me the rule of thirds grid, and then I'm going to grab a corner and I'm going to take out some of that edge there with the mountains. That way this is more in the rule of thirds and it just brings him and the bridge into more focus instead of dealing with the background so much. And then when I'm finished with the image, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to hit download to computer, and you can title this Jux project so it's easy to find on your desktop. I'm actually going to save this as a JPEG and not a PNG because it'll save it with a little bit more pixels. Choosing my desktop, and then I'm going to hit save. It'll take a minute to export it. It's syncing this to my district iCloud account. It says it's exported even though it looks like it's still running. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. I'm going to just minimize for a second. And sure enough, here's my image right here on my desktop. So it's been downloaded, so I know it's ready to go for turn in. And it's really just that simple, you guys. It's just 2 things to do. So it's just to expose you to Photoshop a little bit and to show you how to cut things out and add layers.